This video is brought to you by MPEC Printery, specializing in t-shirt printing, posters, and shipping from the USA. Call 876-775-6692 or 876-337-7374. Andy Gone Nuts. 100% guaranteed fresh coconut water delivered straight to your door. Call 876-309-6128. That's 876-309-6128. Refreshing and affordable. For more information, follow them on Instagram at Andy Gone Nuts. Truly refreshing. And Crumble by Mrs. C. Old English fudge and other delectable sweet treats. Call or WhatsApp 876-586-0471. That's 876-586-0471. This video is also brought to you by BLC Jamaica Security Electronics, specializing in alarm system, video surveillance, camera system or CCTV, barrier system, gate automation, and access control. Call 876-320-7711. That's 876-320-7711 or 876-351-1105. That's 876-351-1105. Hello everyone, I'm Simon Preston, and welcome to Reggae Boys Commentary. Yep, this is the channel where we come together to discuss everything in relation to Jamaican football. It's a pleasure to hear back from you guys, and I hope you all are having a wonderful Friday, and I hope that you all have a progressive, calm weekend ahead of you. I really hope that and wish that for you all. And I hope that you all were, you could say, thrilled, excited with the results in the English Premier League today, as we saw Brentford defeat Brighton by 2-0. As we know, Ethan Pinnock played in a back four today with Ben Mee, Rico Henry at left back. And yeah, we know, Ivan Toney. But that's not exactly what we're speaking about in this video in particular. But we're talking about something else. Polo says, not the man on the thumbnails though. Up, Simon, how's it going, my friend? I'm doing well, thanks. And how are you? I hope you are doing well. So, yeah, where do we go? Well, basically, it's a scenario like this. Jamaican Football House has Pinnock played well. Yeah, he did. He did play very well. And we can be quite pleased with the performance that he gave there in that 2-0 victory. Now, Bounce TV, hope you're doing good too. Now, look, guys, I know you guys might be saying, why do a lot of managers keep their cards close to their chest? Why is it that they don't reveal who they want to get? Well, let's say, for an example, that Darren Moore likes Adrian Mariappa. If he comes out and says he wants to buy Adrian Mariappa, then other clubs will be like, well, if Darren Moore wants to get Adrian Mariappa, that must mean that he's a good player. And other clubs in League One in that division will be going for Adrian Mariappa. So that is exactly why, for that situation, your cards are kept close to your chest. What we do know and what we do understand is that players who are Jamaican or players of Jamaican heritage are priorities of Darren Moore once the budget is there. And I know that's an extremely broad term, but that is the situation right now. Now, it's no secret to anybody. Big up Gregor Hines, big up. Would not be surprised if he's looking at Richard King. Nothing about Gray from Everton. Now, it is no surprise. Well, not surprise, but it's no secret that Hull City and Sunderland have shown an interest in Damien Lowe. No secret or surprise. This is something that has been written in newspapers in Yorkshire and something that has been written in the Northeast for Damien Lowe. No secret there. It is also no secret that Paul Hall spoke to Darren Moore, amongst other former Jamaican internationals who are managers of respective teams in England, about Damien Lowe. Now, in particular, there were three players that Paul Hall mentioned that believe should be getting an opportunity within England. One of them is Damien Lowe, and the other is Andre Blake, and another is Richard King. Now, we all know that Andre Blake has signed a long-term deal with the Philadelphia Union, and he still has some accolades to pick up, whether that's the Goalkeeper of the Year award or that is the Player of the Year award. He still wants to win that individual title of MLS Cup, something that has not been won by the Philadelphia Union. You know? So that's something for us there to consider. You know? Richard King. Not only does he need a UK visa, he needs caps. And after caps, we'll have to talk about the ranking. And from there, we take it from there. We spoke about Andre Blake. We spoke about Richard King. And also Damien Lowe. Now I know what you guys must be saying. Oh, Simon, what about Michael Hector? What is the deal with Michael Hector? So Michael Hector's father is Pat Hector. Good cricketer in his day. Was a really, really good cricketer during his time. And basically, there's a conversation about bringing Michael Hector to Yorkshire. And it's now for Pat Hector to have a discussion with Michael about the opportunities that lie within West Yorkshire, East Yorkshire, North Yorkshire, and South Yorkshire. But these are the areas where there is where there's interest, for Michael Hector. The Yorkshire area is an area that is in demand of this talent of his, Michael Hector. So now it's over to Michael Hector and his father, Pat Hector, to be able to pen down his opportunities. Jamie Ricketts, the clubs that you can find in Yorkshire are clubs such as Huddersfield Town, Hull City, Middlesbrough, Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesday, Barnsley, Doncaster. Those are some Yorkshire-based clubs. I know Leeds United is also a Yorkshire-based club, but they're not one of the Yorkshire-based clubs that are showing interest in Michael Hector. So you can just scratch them off right there. Is Nicky Daly going to England? Not for now, but I do see it becoming realistic. I can see it happening if he fulfills his potential in another 2 to 3 seasons. I'm not going to rule it out at all. I do think that it is something that can happen. Do you think Redmond can still play for Jamaica? He can play for Jamaica because of his eligibility. But firstly, he needs a Jamaican passport. But before that, he needs to be committed. And he needs to show that commitment for me. If Michael Hector can show that commitment, then great. We can have a fruitful conversation about this. Why don't Jamaican players go to the UK football trials in England? A number of reasons, D2. One, need a visa. And a visa to enter the United Kingdom is not cheap. A 6-month visa is $200 US. A 2-year visa, 500 US. A 5-year visa is 1,000 US. And a 10-year visa, we're talking about 2,500 US. Then you have to factor in the cost of flights. Kingston to London, 1,200 US. So it's not cheap. Up, Timor Peterkin. Hope you're doing good. The question is, how many clubs in Jamaica that are serious about football and or in the business of producing quality players for the international market? I think there you have 4 clubs that have a good model in terms of exporting talent. But honestly, for me, I think the developing talent part, it's a priority and that has to be achieved. But I think, if you study business and management, look up F.W. Taylor's theory. F.W. Taylor's theory is quite clear. You pay persons more and you get them to produce more effectively. This is not Simon Preston's words. This is science. This is written in business and management books. This is in POB books. So what am I driving at? You start every single player that plays in the Jamaica Premier League with 100,000 Jamaican dollars a month. And I know that is not a lot of money. You go to the supermarket 2 times for the month and that money is done. But you give them a starting point. You give them something to work towards. Because if you can have the National Rugby League in Jamaica, the National Rugby League Championship in Jamaica, where players have the potential to pocket £1,000 a month, then what are we doing in football? What are we doing in football when we are giving players 30,000 Jamaican dollars a month? You give somebody 150,000 Jamaican dollars a month, they can take care of their expenses. And at the end of the month, they can treat their wife or their kids to an ice cream. But I say, let's start at 100,000 a month. Pay the players decently. And I promise you, performances will improve. You have persons that will be motivated and not after their 9 to 5 be like, ugh, I have training from 6 to 9 or 6 to 8. And then when 8 o'clock come home, the shower, it's 9 o'clock and there's little time, with their family. Do you know how professional clubs train? Well, Marcelo Bielsa had his team train twice a, a day, morning and evening. So you'd have a morning training session from 9 to 11. Then they have lunch, and they come back for the afternoon session from 2 to 5. But in between the morning session and the afternoon session, they go in the players' lounge, or they might go on the road to do a couple of errands and come back. Manchester United, they have a morning training session, they have lunch, and they leave. We need to start treating our players right. We need to start treating them and paying them. I don't see any reason why. Because Arsenal plays in the Emirates, City plays in the Etihad, Newcastle United used to play in the Sports Direct Arena. I don't see any reason why Arnott Gardens can't play their games at the something something bank Anthony Spalding Sports Complex, or the British Airways Anthony Spalding Sports Complex, or the, for an example, right? Or Cavalier can play their games at the Air Jamaica Stadium East Field. Why not? You monetize these venues. You are absolutely doing an absolutely amazing job. So why not? There are many, many different avenues. Let me tell you all something right now as well. For those that follow the English Premier League, the Spanish League, the Champions League, you know, and you can mark my words on this. You all know that what I'm about to say right now is the truth, because I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. You can pick up your phone, and 1 hour before every single Premier League match that you watch, Champions League match, the Europa League match, Conference League match, Serie A, La Liga, Ligue 1, Bundesliga match, 1 hour before every single one of those matches, you can pick up your phone, go on Twitter, go on Instagram, and you can find out the starting 11. 1 hour before every single Premier League game, you can pick up your phone, go on Instagram, go on Twitter, and find out the starting 11. You can't do that locally. You can't. If you get a team sheet with 11 names on it, then you've succeeded. Look, and I'm not bashing anybody. I'm just saying that football needs to be treated as an industry. Football is not a recreation. Football is an industry. And I know it takes cost to care, and it takes money to make all this work. I'm fully aware of that. And look, we're not experts in every single industry, but that's why you have sports marketers. That is why you have workshops. That is why you send people overseas to get training, 3 to 6 month programs. What is marketing like in the English Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, Ligue 1, Bundesliga, MLS, USL? How can we market our league better? How can we generate and monetize our assets better? These are some simple things that need to be spoken about. Very, very simple things. And I know it feels like I've been speaking for like half an hour straight. And I know there are comments that I will be addressing. But I just want to make the point that football in this country, I said this country like I'm in Jamaica right now. But seriously, football in Jamaica is not treated like the industry it is worldwide. Football is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Billion-dollar industry. But it's not treated like that in Jamaica. It's not. Because when we have a crucial World Cup qualifier at home to Mexico, we don't see it as important to have a critical stakeholder involved in fans. But we see it important to have funds for a high school track and field event. Clearly, we know our priorities. Not trying to qualify for a team to a World Cup, but hosting a track and field relay event. Clearly, we need to know our priorities. And before people say, well, Simon, COVID this and COVID that and COVID this and COVID that, honestly, just give me a break. Just give me a break. Honestly, I'm sick and tired of that excuse being thrown around about COVID. Honestly, I really am. Did you all see 90,000 fans in the final of the European Championships and for Euros? Yeah, you did. And guess what? England produced more COVID cases per day than Jamaica. Yeah, yeah. The United States, yeah. And guess what? Even fans who weren't vaccinated, you know what they did? They had testing stations outside. Yeah, antigen tests, and if they're negative, they enter the ground. So you can't tell me that that's not something that could have been done outside the national stadium as well. You proceed to entrance to enter the stadium with a negative COVID test and your ticket for the game. Sounds reasonable to me. It does to me. You know, I believe in life that adversity is temporary. But like I said, I'm going to repeat myself again because the point has to be made. We need to know our priorities. If you're going to be at the airport for when somebody wins a bronze medal at the Olympic Games, you you also turn up whenever Jamaica qualifies for any sporting discipline World Cup. You're there at the airport when when any Jamaican athlete in any sport does that. Because you have players and athletes in other sporting disciplines that pay their way to go to qualifiers, that pay their way, that make sacrifices for the country. Before you take up a job or a position, you should know about your responsibilities. Jamaica has 55 sports, and all of it deserves the same level of recognition. Jamaica is more than track and field, much, much more. I'm late, just jumping on the live. So, what's going on, Simon? So, it's no secret to many that Damien Lowe had interest at Hull and Sunderland, but the point I'm trying to make is this, that Darren Moore, the manager of Sheffield Wednesday, has made the point that Jamaican players, both on the island and those in the diaspora, will be given opportunities under his leadership. Checking in. Did Peter McGregor go back to his club in Sweden? No, JPL. In your scenario, Simon, Jamaica can only match 10. To start, I think that's decent, you know? Really? Hmm. Jamaican leaders have no vision. They still don't see the potential of a multi-billion-dollar industry like football does be. There's Rika Lewis of Jamaican National. Rika Lewis or Rico Henry? Because Rika Lewis, the player that you're talking about at Manchester City, from the best of my knowledge, it's great grandparents that has the Jamaican links. Simon, Jamaica are gonna regret not capping Ivan Tony when they had the opportunity before he was on England radar. Yeah, yeah, man, I know who you're talking. Qualifying for a World Cup puts 9 million USD into local football. Gibson Relays or Champs doesn't generate anything close to that. Jamaica's so-called leaders really don't have a clue, says BM. Do you think Shane Beckford and Lamar Walker are wasting their youthful talent in the USL? Any prospect of them in lower leagues in Europe? So Lamar Walker had some interest in Portugal, but it's not something that turned into fruition in terms of a contract perspective. But we will monitor a situation in Belgium and keep you all abreast of that. As it relates to Shane Beckford, I think he's going to be in the USL for a little bit longer. It's not that they want to stay in the USL for the rest of their lives. It all comes down again to the opportunity. Eddie Guna says up, and I say up, big up. Joe Topi to England. Not yet. Not yet. It's an interesting one, with Colorado Murray. Yeah. Yeah, I could see him in that division. I see that working. Definitely. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that can work. Absolutely. Like it up, guys. Like it up. Trying to find out the situation with Michael Hector, but we'll keep you all abreast of things. So, yeah, trying to work on that. Ball Ivans went with a double today. My your ball, I know. Mr. Galaxy says big up everyone. Big up was the highest paid Jamaican bass player in the Jamaican Premier League. You'd have to go to the Mount Pleasant Academy players, because the Mount Pleasant Academy players pay players a good and fair wage. Eddie Guna, big up, hope you guys are well. So just wanted to clarify a couple of things for some people because it's important. You all know you have two different sports. You have rugby league and you have rugby union. Rugby union is played 7-a-side or 15-a-side, and rugby league is a 13-a-side or 9-a-side. You have different codes to rugby league and rugby union. It's like you have different codes to football. You have association football, you have futsal, you have beach soccer, you have other codes of football. So rugby league and rugby union are two different sports. Jamaica is in the Rugby League World Cup and they'll face Ireland. They'll also take on New Zealand and Lebanon. The top two teams from each group will qualify for the quarterfinals of the tournament, and they'll also book their ticket to the 2025 edition of the Rugby League World Cup in France. So, as it relates to your question specifically, preparation, training has gone well with them. And as it relates to match day and everything of that nature, yeah, the team is putting the pieces together tactically for the opener against Ireland. Jamaica's first game is in Leeds, and then already the Jamaican diaspora within Yorkshire, in Leeds, Bradford, Huddersfield, ready to come to the game. Johnny says, like it up. Good to see Ethan Pinnock back playing. Trust me, it's an encouraging sign. It really is an encouraging sign. Simon, if a European side really wanted Blake to play for them, is it still possible for him to with FIFA ranking? Well, the thing is, for England, for him to go to a Premier League club, despite the ranking right now, because he has the caps, he would have to be purchased for over £30 million. Because remember when Mkhitaryan signed for Manchester United, he Armenia is not nowhere near the top 15 of the world, but he was signed for a fee that was a very pricey one. You know what I'm saying? So that's the important thing. You know? Yeah. So yeah. So that's the situation. Michael Hector, his agent Pat Hector, is has to follow up with some teams in Yorkshire as it relates to the services for Michael Hector. Will he accept? That's another conversation because, of course, you have to agree to personal terms as well. And Michael Hector is not a cheap player. He's not going to accept peanuts from anywhere. So that's something that we have to factor in as well. Of course, no player wants to receive peanuts, but you can't give somebody peanuts. That's the reality. You know, Damien Lowe could have been in Scotland, but if you're giving somebody, for a random example, £500 a week, and you're bearing in mind the cost of land and all of those things, it's too much. You have to pay them better. Kevin Lambert to England, Scotland. I'd love to see that, you know. As Blake can play over Danny Ward, but I don't see anyone going to spend 30 million. It's tough, but let's see. England right back injuries are concerning for Jamaica. No, not at all. Junior Fleming to England, Scotland. Yeah. Hector cannot sign for Reading FC. Reading FC is not located in Yorkshire, sir. Shane Beckford to Scotland. Oh, that would be good. Lamar Walker to England. Well, I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, I think Lowe could play for an English Premier League club like Leeds. Damien Lowe. Oh, that would be a good test. If Greenham plays football again, you reckon he plays for Jamaica? I think he needs to be in club football first. Elephant wouldn't mind getting peanuts. Giovanni Brown doing well in League One. Yeah, 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 yeah. Look, I've been banging on the Jamil Matt door from 2018, 2019. So honestly, he's in the best form of his life. Jamil Matt is the man that deserves a Jamaica cap at this point in time. Hector's on trial with Reading, but he cannot sign for them. I have a strange feeling that if Ivan Toney doesn't get picked for the England World Cup squad, he's going to switch allegiance. What do you think? Personally, no. Because he's going to get called back for the European Championship, for the Euro qualifiers, and eventually make England's squad for the Euro 2024. The penalty merchant strikes again. Will Jamaican national team look at players in the Vanarama National League, such as Jamaican-born players Junior Moraes for Dagenham and Redbridge, who have scored double figures in goals call up. No, I think we're only going to call up players that play in the professional leagues. I don't see us calling up a player that plays below League Two. You know, and when you think about players, in that sort of frame, that I'm trying to remember players that have got call ups, and majority of them have come in those top leagues. The last time that we called up a player that played in non-league, that would have to be Ramil Sheriff when he was at Harborough, and that was what, the eighth tier or the ninth tier of English football at the time. But yeah, Ramil Sheriff should have done better as a player. I know many people are going to say, "Well, what about Jamar Loza?" But the thing is, with Jamar Loza, he was at Norwich. He was a Norwich City player, and now he's at Barnet in London. Jamaican-born Jamar Loza. You know, Amar Hutchinson to ditch Jamaica for England call up. No, not that I'm aware of. Max Aarons and Cal Walker Peters could be called up with England practitioners. Could be. National League players didn't call up over League One Championship Premier League. I don't see that. Who are the main players that will play against Cameroon? The MLS, USL players. You know, I expect a call up for a lot of the North American players, possibly. A new call up for Justin McMaster, possibly as well. Nico Brett as well. I know he's not new, but you get my drift. The fact that Tony has more goals than Jamie Vardy and the same as Kane should easily get called for England for World Cup squad. Well, let's see. The penalty merchant better than ever forward we have right now. Ozine. So do you think Jamal Lowe did called up? Well, he's not going to play the Cameroon game, that's for sure, because it's not a FIFA date, the Cameroon game. And of course, as you know, you guys know the situation already. MLS, USL, and players apply their trade in the Jamaica Premier League. So that's the situation. So that's where we are right now. Game Paris to England, Scotland. So yeah, Gibbs White is playing so good at Nottingham Forest. So why they don't call up that player? You've hit the right nail on the head there. So yeah. He has a chance to win the silver boots. Yeah. If Jamaica had qualified for the World Cup, possibly. Will Bournemouth allow him to leave? No, no, not at all. It's not a FIFA window, so they're not going to let their players go. So that's where we stand right now. And it's a decision that we're just going to have to accept. So I have to let that sink in. happened to Deshaun England? Well, back in Jamaica, but he needs to get back in overseas, that's for sure. Any chance Greenwood plays for us? Mm, probably 1%. They don't even use him, though. Yeah, well, guess what? It's their player, and they get to decide what they want to do with their player. And because it's not a FIFA window, they can hang on to him for dear life. So that is a situation with that player in particular. So, what are you guys' thoughts about that? Let me know. At this point, anyone from Ivan Tony, I hear you. Jermaine Brown to England, Scotland. Probably 3, 4 years. Mattox to play for Jamaica. Oh, Massacre. Image. Want to see Hector and Anthony Grant in the squad for club or country? Same club, or for Jamaica? You're talking about? Let me know. There are so many players in England, and we struggle with right back. CDM, big joke. Give it time. Simon, how is that brother Sutton getting on? You guys know that Kamali is back on the island, right? I mean, Kamali is no longer at Sutton United. He's not there anymore. The only Caribbean player there you have is Aaron Pierre. I mean, Craig Eastmond is there, former Arsenal player, you know? So, yeah. The squad versus Cameroon. Yeah. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, I think both are could. Yeah, that would be good to see with them both in the squad. Even England themselves struggle with right back, so wanted a new challenge, and he's no longer there at Sutton United anymore. Big up, big up, big up, Blake. Grant, Hector Moore should get a call up for Cameroon game because they're without a club now. Yeah, I agree. They should. They should get a call up for me. They deserve to. So, personally, I say it's about time. You know, why not? Tiffany is. Oh, Tiffany turns 31 on Sunday. 31? We're in 2022, right? So, and she born 1991. So she's 31. Yeah, she has a game Sunday. She turns 31 on Sunday. Yeah, Tiffany is doing okay. Tiffany is making moves. She is pushing, and at the end of the season, you're going to be like, this girl needs to be nominated for the Ballon d'Or. So just keep it on the down low for now. But yeah, that is the situation, guys. I hope you're able to get something from this discussion that we've had. And I hope that you appreciate this conversation that we had. So, Reggae Boys fans, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Reggae Boys Commentary for more content. Alright, guys, take it easy.
This video is brought to you by MPEC Printery, specializing in t-shirt printing, posters, and shipping from the USA. Call 876-775-6692 or 876-337-7374. Andy Gone Nuts, 100% guaranteed fresh coconut water delivered straight to your door. Call 876-309-6128. That's 876-309-6128. Refreshing and affordable. For more information, follow them on Instagram at Andy Gone Nuts. Truly refreshing. And Crumble by Mrs. C. Old English fudge and other delectable sweet treats. Call or WhatsApp 876-586-0471. That's 876-586-0471. This video is also brought to you by BLC Jamaica Security Electronics, specializing in alarm system, video surveillance, camera system or CCTV, barrier system, gate automation, and access control. Call 876-320-7711. That's 876-320-7711 or 876-351-1105. That's 876-351-1105.